my fellow freedom-loving sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to LO3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy mangroves of South Florida, and today's date is Friday, February 12th, 2021. Oh, man. Well, it looks like some people may be getting in trouble in the great state of New York in reference to the whole COVID patient's death on the hands of Governor Andrew Cuomo and some of his associates. And it looks like, too, Newsom, is it Mussolini? Newsom, yeah. Call him Mussolini. Gavin Newsom, governor of California. Looks like they had a threshold for the recall vote, but they want to try to get at least 400,000 or 500,000 more for insurance purposes. They'll do it. The more, the merrier. And I guess this is great. And Utah is looks like expecting the governor to sign the constitutional carry into law, which they say if you're belongs to 21 years or older, don't have a violent felony record, you can carry conceal without a permit. So, another state. So it's interesting because a lot of stuff is happening on the state level. Now, Joe Biden had the audacity to make threats of doing sanctions on the state of Florida for travel. Let me tell you something. White privileged President Joe Biden, it's null and void and treason or RICO, whatever you want to call it, or both. That's right. You're not making a lot of good friends within the states. Go figure. You had your clown cabinet, your vice presidential sidekick. Not impressed at all. Of course, even the president for the AFL-CIO was a couple of days ago was highly critical of him shutting down the pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline. A lot of union jobs got lost. So so he's like disturbed about that too. So a lot of things are happening as usual around the world. However, I want to be focusing more on our natural right to keep and bear arms. Be mainly focused on that. And, of course, looks like Joe Biden or his administration told some of the gun control hacks, we're going to reassure it will be fulfilled. This is what it says here. White House reassures gun control groups it will fulfill ambition's gun control agenda. This is from the Epoch Times. This is by Masuma Haku. And as it reads here, with the control of the House, Senate, and White House as a backdrop, Biden administration officials in their meeting with gun control advocates convey confidence about enacting gun control legislation throughout legislative and executive actions. Yes, you hear a train in the background. In the past and had not gotten the votes. On Wednesday, domestic policy advisor Susan Rice and White House Public Engagement Director and Senior Advisor Cedric Richmond held a virtual meeting with leaders of gun control groups, including Giffords Everytown for Gun Safety, Moms Demand Action, Brady, during when they discussed violence in America. Rice and Richmond told attendees that President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are ready to act to reduce gun violence and enact common sense gun laws. You mean tyrannical sense, to be exact. Jim Crow Fetish 5.0. The White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told reporters on Thursday that the Biden administration is moving forward with fulfilling its ambition plan of increasing gun control in the near future. So we got to do the Caesar salute. Did you get the Caesar salute when she made that statement? Or the communist fist? What is it? During the campaign, President Biden laid out an ambitious plan to make our community safer. And that's why, in part, yesterday, senior members of his team hosted a virtual discussion with leaders of gun violence prevention groups to discuss our shared goals to control the people as minions. That was meet around the end, said Paskey. We look forward to working with gun violence survivors and advocates and sharing more in the weeks and months ahead about our efforts to make our community safer. The government will protect you, but they'll screw you in the end. That's what Psaki would say. She added, the main part of Biden's gun control agenda includes banning the manufacture and the sale of assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, regulating possession of existing assault weapons under the National Firearms Act, buying back these weapons and high-capacity magazines from citizens, requiring background checks for all gun sales, ending the online sale of firearms and ammunition, and providing more funds to enforce these laws. Yay! Hey, dingbat. Tell me why the war on drugs is a failure and prohibition. Why the 18th Amendment got repealed. Answer that question, please. Probably have to figure that one out. You're so damn obtuse. The gun control groups who were in attendance at Wednesday's meeting shared their optimism about getting gun control laws in place that had previously been blocked by the GOP majority in the Senate. This meeting provided more evidence that the Biden administration is committed to being the strongest we've ever seen on gun safety. John Feinblatt, president of Everytown for Gun Safety, said in the joint press release. Among the topics discussed at Wednesday's meeting were steps that can be taken to close background check loopholes, stopping the sales of unregulated and untraceable ghost guns, and expanding violent intervention programs. Shannon Watts, founder of Moms Demand Action, says she is confident that the public will see gun control executive and legislative actions in the near future. Gun control executive action and legislative action in the near future. How does that constitute? How are you going to constitute? What constitutes that? Executive orders? That would be invalid. Of course, everything's invalid. In 2013, after gun safety stalled in the Senate, President Biden stood by former Congresswoman Giffords and vowed to fight the gun lobby, and at the time would come for change. That moment has arrived, said Peter Ambler, executive director of Giffords.org, referring to former Representative Gabriel Giffords, who is a Democrat from Arizona. Giffords is a gun control group founded by former Congresswoman Giffords, who was shot in the head by a gunman in 2011 at the Congress on Your Corner constituent event in Tucson, and where 6 people were killed and 12 were injured. In addition, Chris Brown, the president of Brady, praised the Biden administration's willingness to take decisive actions against gun violence. They know that it is a public health threat and that there isn't a moment to waste. This administration is prepared to take a whole-of-government approach to keep Americans safe, and Brady looks forward to working with them to do so, said Brown in a Thursday press statement. The Brady organization was named after Jim Brady, former press secretary for Ronald Reagan, who in 1981 became permanently disabled from a gunshot wound during the attempted assassination of the Republican president, Ronald Reagan. Okay, so let you folks know. Meanwhile, gun rights groups are encouraging members to demand that their state and federal lawmakers advocate for gun owners by protecting the Second Amendment. Colorado's Rally for Your Rights members are gearing up to fight local and federal legislation that infringe on their Second Amendment rights to own a gun for self-defense. The National Rifle Association, or NRA, has urged members to make their voices heard in opposition to any infringement upon their constitutional rights. Oh my goodness. They're natural rights, folks. But the same individuals will use constitutional. Like, it was all given by the state. Please. The 117th U.S. Congress has filed half a dozen gun control measures with the House Judiciary Committee, and includes Representative Bobby Rush's Democrat from Illinois, H.R. 30, which would punish and deter firearms trafficking, and Representative Al Greene, Democrat from Texas, H.R. 167, which would prohibit the transfer of a firearm at a gun show by a person who was not federally licensed firearms dealer. So the way this is written is private sales are no. Okay? Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, Democrat from Texas, has filed 4 gun control bills, including H.R. 127, which would require the licensing of firearms and ammunition, possession, and the registration of firearms, and to prohibit the possession of certain ammunition. Yeah, all these Jim Crow bills, right? Gun rights groups have called H.R. 127 the gun apocalypse because the bill would require expensive psychological evaluations for multiple family members before being able to purchase a gun. Biden wants to ban our semi-auto rifles, tax our guns, mags, and more. He knows the only thing standing in his way to dismantle the Second Amendment is NRA. Gun owners must be vigilant and be engaged in elections and the legislative process, the NRA told its members. Well, all this here is about infringing on our Bill of Rights culture, period. Just to enlighten many individuals out there that have that Second Amendment right fetish. And I'm not mocking you guys, okay? I use that same rhetoric as well in the past. But you gotta see natural rights. The second is fine, but the 9th is a checkmate. And the 10th as well, when it comes to federal laws. And of course, local and state authorities don't have to cooperate with the feds. That's according to Federalist Papers 46. And if I'm correct, Federalist Paper 78 by Alexander Hamilton, any law is considered invalid, any law is considered illegal is void. If it's not valid in the Constitution, it's void. I'm just paraphrasing. You can definitely look at those too. There's a lot of ways of countering this. And the whole thing is they want to use it, tax people and all that, to make a bigger government. Okay, so ATF on steroids. All right, but remember, folks, if you study the 18th Amendment, why it failed, nullification. And that can be done with these illegal bills as well. And you can call them out for treason. I call them treasonous because militia is all of us ready to go. Able-bodied folks ready to go. Not a standing army. Well, I'm going to go a little more further after I narrate this one here. And this is what came out earlier today. Breaking Marjorie Taylor. This is from the Second Amendment Daily News. I don't know who wrote this. Okay, I don't know who wrote this, but that's what they have to say here. Marjorie Taylor Greene filing a federal Second Amendment Protection Act bill, which is SAPA bill, that outlaws using federal money to enforce gun control. Boom. Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't good friends with the swamp monsters in Washington, D.C., but she is a good friend to America's gun owners. And she has proved yet again with some groundbreaking legislation she is filing today. Now, news broke this morning that the freshman congresswoman has filed legislation that would effectively nullify federal gun control by outlawing the use of any federal money to enforce gun control. Without money to boots on the ground, federal gun control would be dead in the water. The bill is essentially a federal version of the Second Amendment Preservation Act, or the SPA legislation that is being filed in states all across the country, and you can see an example of this as well. When reached for a comment, Greene replied, "Today, I'm introducing the Second Amendment Preservation Act, a bill that would strip the federal government of our taxpayer dollars it uses to enforce federal gun control in the fiscal year 2021. Left-wing and anti-gun radicals in Washington, D.C. are working overtime with the Biden administration on schemes to attack our Second Amendment rights." Natural rights. I'm going to have to tell her that out of love. Not only through the Congress, but also through the executive branch. My bill will cut off all funds the feds could use to enforce gun control. I ran for Congress with a pledge to be a most pro-gun member of Congress. In my first week, I co-sponsored natural reciprocity and the Hearing Protections Act. This SAPA or SAPA bill is the first of many I plan on filing in the coming weeks and months. Americans need allies in Congress who won't give an inch of our Second Amendment rights away to the gun grabbers. There is no better ally than me. Stay tuned, there's more to come. This bill isn't just a publicity stunt that doesn't have the legs to move. In fact, it's already gathering co-sponsors, including Paul Gosar from Arizona, Randy Weber from Texas, Scott Perry from Pennsylvania, Madison Cawthorn from North Carolina, Thomas Massey from Kentucky, and Chip Roy from Texas. Okay, I like that a lot. A longtime champion of the Second Amendment, Greene campaign made national headlines and drew big tech censorship, and her viral ad featured an AR-15. Since President Trump left office, Greene has been outspoken in her efforts to hold back the tide of gun control that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have promised to pass for their far-left supporters. This bill would do just that, cutting off the left's ability to enforce any new gun control law they may pass. A rising star and a powerful alliance. While the left, including Nancy Pelosi, hoped to throttle and silence Greene by removing her from her committee assignments, all they did was give the fearless Greene more time to fight for gun owners. Greene has been a longtime supporter and advocate for the American Firearms Association, a national association dedicated to defending Second Amendment with no compromise approach and cutting-edge tactics. We expect to see great things from Marjorie Greene and the American Firearms Association in the future, and this is just the beginning. The American Firearms Association is a sister organization that are active in a dozen states, leading the fight to pass the SAPA legislation across the country, and it's taken off like wildfire. Fill out the petition below and tell your federal legislators to back Marjorie Greene's federal SAPA legislation. The American Firearms Association has provided a petition to help gun owners nationwide to contact the legislators directly, so take 30 seconds to fill out the application right away. And I done that, and it's really good. Hey, I like it. Throw another monkey wrench in there to drive them crazy. And here's a good thing about it, because even there's on state levels, you can do the same. I think Wyoming, Kansas, and a couple of other states have done that, and it can be done in all 50 states too. Okay, like I refer you guys go to the 10th Amendment Center and look up Second Amendment Preservation Act, and they got a lot of great stories about it. And good thing Mike Maharrey said to the gun rights movement, be like the marijuana smokers, the potheads, the people for pro marijuana prohibition. Emulate their tactics. And it makes a lot of sense. Like, hey, everyone have open carry. You have a peaceable assembly. Yeah, you can read your state constitutions on that. Yeah, we're just doing a function expressing our free speech and their right to peaceably to assemble. You can use that method. And there's even, like I say, 10th Amendment Center has stuff on that and how to nullify federal laws, you guys can use, like in Kentucky, you can use a Kentucky resolution. In Virginia, you can use your resolution, and even their states, like look up USA Patriot Act resolutions. 7 states have it. You can use that as well. You can utilize that for the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Or any firearm laws or federal gun control laws, you can counter that with those resolutions. There's over 400 municipalities in 7 states have that Patriot Act, and if you read it thoroughly, you can stick them. Okay, like Philadelphia has one. They got these wacky gun laws in their own state, which is illegal, and you got that resolution in Philadelphia. Checkmate. Boom. Too bad. It can be done. All you gotta do is a little homework, my friends. And I've shared these in my past episodes. So if you hit my past archives, you can do that. That'd be great. But there's always a will of doing it. And try not to never use constitutional rights. Say natural rights. I'm a natural law-abiding citizen. Okay? Because you're going by your inalienable rights or inalienable rights. It's pronounced. It was supposed to be pronounced originally, but unalienable rights. It can be done. Good example: Florida, Article 1, Section 2, basic rights. We've got certain unalienable rights. Certain natural rights are considered unalienable. You can use that, according to your free speech and assembly. Think about it. It's multiple ways of going around this propaganda machine and drive these pro-gun control fanatics crazy. It's always a will and a way, my friends, so don't get mad. Get inspired. Be proactive. Like I said before in the past, the more you learn about your rights, the more you implement it, the less you fear. That's how you stop the monumental deception. And always remain vigilant. Never trust the government. Period. Because that's our heritage. Our American heritage. Any questions? Read Declaration of Independence thoroughly. And that will be it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share this throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or something interesting you want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence to the Quorum. Furthermore, I'll leave the footnotes of these articles on my speaker page. And if you want to contact me, you can hit me at LookYouLuck03@protonmail.com. Or if you want to do some donations, you can hit me at paypal.me or cash.app/LookYouLuck3. If you want to send your financial support to the Epoch Times or the Second Amendment Foundation. No, Second Amendment News, right? Yeah, Second Amendment News. Let me see here. Yeah, Second Amendment Daily News. Sorry, folks. Sometimes I just forget these things. But, yeah, you can send some support. Do it. Including all those pro-firearms organization. I'm a lifetime member of Guns of America and Florida Carry, and I have no shame to admit it. All right, my friends, once again, thank you for your time. But always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.